All right, we're back at it. Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. And it looks like we got a little bit more going on this morning than we did yesterday. So let's take a peek. Again, we'll start with the stock selection. We have a 300% gapper, a 122% gapper. We have SPRC, which is a 35% gapper with a nice low float. TSTV, looks like the float's too high, so we're going to start with this PEPG. Let me just get my workflow in order. Give me 1 second. All right, so we're going to start off again with our watch list, PEPG. And let's pull up this one. So again, we're going to go through the watch list, see which is down on volume. Let's take a peek at TNFA from yesterday real quick. So this one was the one that had the quantum headline, which really was just them changing their ticker symbol and putting quantum in the name. This is a pharmaceutical company. I'm not sure if they're using some type of quantum compute, but if I had to make a guess, it's probably fucking no. So you see the big run up, 150% plus run up, and then to the next day we're back down where we started. So we're gonna move on from that because I expect that to be, if it wasn't, let me take a look, see if they did dilution. I don't see any dilution yet, but it will be coming eventually. So again, we're just gonna clear out. I may leave that there, but we're gonna clear out some of this other stuff. And we're going to start at PEPG. We're going to find out what the catalyst is, which is news. I don't know what the hell just happened there. I don't see any news on that one, but the way I have it all set up is that there's redundancy. So we're going to come over here. We're going to pull up Trading View. And we're going to track Trading View to see if there is some type of news. Okay. So another biotech company. Okay. Some type of experimental drug. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly what that means, but obviously it has some type of implication for people with some type of muscle disease. But it's experimental. So I don't see any type of FDA approval on that, anything like that. Any type 1, type 2, any of that type of shit. So we're going to be very cautious on that one. But it is up there. And it will stay up there in our watch list. We'll check out SPRC. We'll throw that in the watch list. Low float, shares. Let's pull it up. Something that's been traded before. So what we're going to do is just take out these lines. And we'll set new lines. And for our lines, again, we're going to go look up and to the left. Stock is currently at 566, peaked at 717. It's the high. Let's see here. All right, here's our high. Here's the pattern. We may have a little more, some more room here. Maybe it pops up back into this upper area here. Looks like there was a sell-off up there at the top though, so there may be some bag holders sitting there from a previous time. But it's moving a little bit. It's something that we'll keep an eye on. And again, I'm just going to start small size in my first trades. Any trades I take, let's continue to look around.
SPRC.
And again, it feels a little bit slower. Well, you never know. So that looks like to me to be a clear level where it had issues with. So we'll see if it comes back into this level, holds this level, maybe bounces off of VWAP and takes a move. But we're probably going to be trading against this level here. Let's drill down a little bit more, get a little closer to it. And maybe if it does decide it wants to take off, we may have a little fill through this area here. So we already went to 717, so we already kind of went through this level here. Now we're in here, so what I'm going to do is back off a little bit. So I don't know if it's possible because now I have this thing. I don't know why the fuck this thing's there, but hold on one second. I got to start using OBS again. Okay. So we'll double tap here. High volume areas. There's probably going to be people looking to sell bag holders if it does push into that. And that's a maybe. Everything's pretty much a maybe. We don't know, but maybe, right? It's all a maybe. And then it looks like we'll probably have some resistance in that area right there. So we did tap this line. We went off to that move. 592 in front of that 6. If it takes out 6 and gets over top of 6 and holds, I may take a position on that. But let me look and see what else is moving today before we start trying to trade shit. See if we can find something with some really good news. JGX was one that was on the scanner yesterday, but we didn't like that one.
SPRC.
Feel like I'm late on SPRC. I could put in this big move early, 7 o'clock in the morning. And if it wasn't for the fact that I got to get the kids ready and take them to school, I probably would have been up for that. I like to get up. Well, nah. I usually sit down around 7:30. At least in the summer months I do. So I'd have missed that move as well. Pushed, rejected, rejection, rejection, push through. There's a little bit of gap here, short-term gap. So we're looking for a potential move up and through 6. Interesting. All right, we'll move on. What else we got? And I wonder if there's $7. Let's take a look at dilution tracker. See if there's any dilution up there at around $7. We got warrants, convertible note, at the money offerings. I'm sorry, at the market offering. Got a lot going on here. And I'm going to check to see if they have cash. So they're currently out of cash. So there's a high probability if that's something they move, make a big move, that they will offer because they're low on cash. Right? Okay, SPY is on a downtrend. So we may have a slower day today because the SPY is on that sort of downtrend here. Right, and again, I like to trade it when it finds the bottom of that downtrend and moves off of it. And that might actually be exactly the levels we were talking about yesterday with the SPY. Let me pull it up.
AMPY.
Alright, so we have this little pullback on the SPY. It may go lower. We don't know how far it's going to go. It could come to here, it can go to there, it can go to there. I could just do a little quick check and go. But we know we're not on the right side of the V in the SPY as it stands now. So this is going to be more likely another slow one. AMPY. Let's take a look at that. News on that is participate in 2025. Nope, that's an old headline. That thing is moving. Let's take a look over here. Yeah, floats a little high. Let's see what the headline is. Looks like it's an earnings play. I don't have a headline unless, yeah, it's filling up for this. It's just gap fill here. So maybe it just didn't need a headline. This might just be purely a technical move. And it's up into here, into this level already. See the pre-market levels are here. Looks like that's where you're going to have a level of resistance to there. If it pops through there, holds, maybe it goes higher into this area, to the 662. I'm not in love with the float though. I will leave it on the watch list, but I'm probably not going to trade that. Alright, we filled our gap here. It just feels extended at this point. I could be wrong though. It may continue to keep going. Who knows? But I don't know why it would be moving. Typically, I want to see some news for a move like that. I don't see anything other than a headline from 812, something about energy conference. That's about it, other than maybe earnings. Sort of a grinder, low volume. Yeah, this is not going to be something for us to trade. So our number one top candidate right now is still going to be SPRC, which I don't like as well. So we'll see. But we have retested this level. So let's see if we get an uptick in volume. So if we see it start to do that, then maybe we'll get into it. We want to break out of this 173,000 range in a minute. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't like it, so I'm gonna go low size, small size. Yeah, a lot of these bigger moves happen pre-market. Sort of early pre-market, 7, 8 o'clock. When there's more traders that come online and they just kind of push things higher and then get the hell out of there. A lot of these guys are pushing it higher and they're just getting out and calling it a day. And ideally, that's how I'd like to trade too, but I got to get the kids ready. So the pin bar here in the 15-minute, top here. And again, this one, no catalyst either, so there's no news on this, no fresh news on it. So again, this is moving on technicals, and it feels like small caps are slowing down a little bit. They have, just the ebb and flow. And it may be slow like this for a couple days, so if it is, I may shut it down, at least the video part, until some heat comes back into the market, so I can show you guys what some real good small cap trading looks like. Right now, it's sort of just kind of sit tight, don't get yourself in trouble type of thing going on here. These are arguably the most important days. If you can control yourself and show some discipline, you can get out of here without getting your freaking head ripped off and giving back everything that you gained the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, year. All right, we'll sit tight to the bell. Maybe we'll get something on the bell again like we did yesterday. We'll watch the scanner. We'll just sit tight. Again, it's the hurry up and wait mentality, right? When you first start trading, when you first start getting good trades, you just get so impatient. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down. And that's what gets you in trouble. So you got to learn to be patient. At least I had to. If this don't work out, I'm gonna shut this shit down after a little bit after the bell early and go get my little workout in. Take my dog for a walk. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you don't even hear the scanner going off. Typically, you'll hear the scanner on a hot day. The scanner will just be chatty patty, just popping off. You don't even, it's not even going off.
Add Smiles Dummy to your homeschool plan and watch your child's confidence soar.
We don't want
Get
this stuff.
personalized, play-based math and English activities.
SPRC.
Alright, SPRC is the only thing moving. CPOP, that seems like a Chinese stock. Let's pull that up real quick and see what we got. No, not Chinese, I don't think. Low float. Do we have news? We don't have any particularly good news. It's on a downtrend, popped up from its downtrend. Yeah, I don't know. We'll put it on watch though, but yeah, I don't know.
CPOP. AMPY.
We got some volume, but why do we have volume? Okay, Bitcoin catalyst. Right? Accumulation of 1,000 Bitcoin at 9:15. It is now 9:17. Let's see how this stock reacts. We'll look back at its history. Its history says that when it has headlines, it pops and then sells the fuck off. So we want to be in on that first move, or we're going to be the guys who get sold off on. Not in love with the fact that there is overhead resistance right here, 240, and it's known to move high and then just collapse. So we're going to be cautious. $1 stop. We'll take smaller size than that. Let's hit it at threes. Not thrilled though. It's a newer stock. Hold up 1 second. No, this thing's been around. Yeah. Alright, AMPY is moving like irrationally, but it's on low volume, so it scares the shit out of me. But these movements are super irrational. So what is going on with AMPY? Right? What is going on with it? I can't explain why it's moving like that, but I see it moving like that. On low volume though, this is pretty much a lottery ticket if you punch this one. I'm going for it, fuck it. I'm taking 3 at 470. I'm out here. I got out 590. I'm sorry, it was 570. Got out 590. I don't like it though. So we'll leave it up there. And I got CPOP on the other chart, and it is crashing. Right, that initial spike from the news, the Bitcoin news, right? So you get that initial algorithms will pick that up and will trade that quicker than we can ever think. So that's what the algo spike is. They're just programmed to scrape news, and when they find things that they're programmed to trade on, they will trade it quickly, and that's when you get that big spike, initial spike. Sometimes traders will eventually come in and say, okay, this is a catalyst, and trade it higher. Other times they won't. You'll just get that big spike and then a big pullback. Gotta be cautious on that, especially on slower days. Let's go back here to AMPY and see what the fuck is going on here. And even the same with this one. But what bugs me out on this one is that there's no news. So what would an algo spike that on, right? Unless there's news somewhere that I'm not seeing. And I have 2 different places to do it. So I have redundancy on my news, but maybe I should just plug in AMPY into Google and see what it says, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything on this one. This is one of those days you got to be really careful. All right, look at that. We did, right? We took our quick scalp and got the F out of there. And if we didn't, you know, this comes with time. You know, watch this thing. Look at this. Look at that. That's nasty, man. That's how you lose your account. That's why you got to start with small money and learn first. You just have to. I've had accounts, a couple thousand, few thousand accounts and stuff. And I ain't blow them up. I wouldn't allow myself to blow them up. But if I lose like a third of it, I'm pulling that money out and putting that money back into my household. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and just blow a bunch of thousands of dollars. That ain't the way. Plus, it'll destroy your confidence if you do that shit. So, the times where I had $3,000-$4,000 accounts, if I lost the you know, $500 or something like that, man, I'm pulling that shit and we're going on vacation or we're gonna go. You know what I mean? And then I'll reset, and I just keep doing that over and over and over again until I get better and better and better. But not with the thousands. Sometimes I'll break it down. I'll only put 500 in there, sometimes 100, and I'll just slowly do it. It takes a while. This shit ain't easy. You just can't give up, and that's the thing. SPRC. Looks like it doesn't want to, it's like at that level. See, this is about trading levels, define levels. And levels are more areas than levels. Like I have a line there, but in all actuality, this area is probably, well, if I can figure this out without screwing it up. This area is probably, what the fuck?
SPRC.
Okay, it won't let me use the thing today. I don't know why. But usually it's like this rectangular box. This thing's not working for me today. Whatever. But yeah, the levels aren't to the level exactly. It's more of an area. I'm missing an opportunity here. I should have probably took a trade on that. We're a little late. I am gonna buy this though. I'll take 2 shares of this because it's a little higher price. And like you see our level, volume level starting to pick up. So we had that volume spike I was talking about here. Right, we were down volume, now we're up volume. I missed that move. I really would rather not trade it into a level of resistance. That's kind of where you want to be getting out, is into that. But let's see if it wants to pick up some more. I'll take it. Quick scalp, in or out. Nope. And then we're looking at chart history, right? So you see this sort of down and up, and you look back, down and up, and then fail, right? Down and up, and then fail, right? So to trade up here is dangerous because historically this thing has gone down and up and failed. Down, up, fail. Down, up, fail, down, up, fail, down, up, fucking fail, right? That's the pattern recognition. You can see that. So if you're trading into that upswing, unless it has amazing news, there's a high probability it's going to fail. So you got to either scalp it, get your couple pennies out of there, even though that sucks to say, or don't touch it at all. So what I'm also doing, I have other charts on the other. Hold up one second. So I have charts to my left, right? That's my main chart right there. What you guys are seeing is on my right screen. I have ultra wide in front of me that has the charts, and I have also another smaller screen to my left, 27-inch screen, that has other charts on there, other information, my news feeds and all that. So I missed this move, and if I get impatient and take it here, there's more chance of it coming back than going through. But you never know. You never know. So if this does this, then, like when I was looking at before, if this comes and kind of holds this level, then I'll trade. But now it's like, okay, if it comes up through here, breaks this level, holds this level, then I'll trade, which it may do on the bell. I'm not sure. But it feels slow. It feels slow today. So we'll see an influx in volume on the bell because everybody's kind of sitting there waiting for the bell. That's why that bell, when it goes bing, 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 it's like off to the races. A lot of times I'll mute my computer at 9:29 so I don't hear that bell. I don't want that spike of dopamine in my body, because then I'm not thinking correctly. Like, that shit is a signal for you to do something stupid. It's like, yeah, let's go, run. Well, this isn't a run thing. A lot of times I won't even let that shit go off because I don't want to hear that bing, 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 because you're going to get that spike immediately of dopamine, and you're going to do something dumb at the open, and you're going to get crushed. So if I had to put my money on it, I'm going to watch PEPG on the open, and I'm going to watch SPRC on the open. So those are the two I have ready to rock and roll. We have 3 minutes to open. So what I want to see on PEPG, which for some reason isn't in recent, that's fine. I have a line here because I believe that we need to get above that line. Or I could trade from here into that line and get out into that line. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll trade into that line, get out, and then wait for it to go over top, and then do that. So that's my if-then for that. And for, what was it, SPRC on the other one? I'm not in love with SPRC, but I could see it maybe spiking up into this level before it fails. So again, these are going to be scalps. If it spikes on big volume, I'll chase it a little bit, with the knowing that I'm going to have to get off of it if it doesn't work. Like, I'll give it 2-3 cents risk. If it doesn't work, I'm getting the fuck out of there. 2 minutes into the bell. FG is pushing that $6 level. 598. SPRC looks like it's going to want to come down and retest this area here as well. We have two areas. So this is basically trading defined areas on both of these stocks today. This isn't going to be a pure momentum play. So we're going to wait for it to do what we want it to do, and then we'll go. My money right now, PEPG looks like it's the one that's going to go off the open and give me some opportunity, but I'm not going to be here for long. I'm going to try to stab and go. Then 20 cents with a tight stop. Right, so it's playing around at $6 as PEPG, so I'm going to put this on the screen over here because I do believe this is going to be the one. All right, now we're at $6 here. 1 minute until the bell. PEPG, I'd like to see it dip and rip. Maybe, yeah, dip and rip. If it pushes higher right off the open, I'm going to be super cautious on this. I'd like to see a dip and rip. If it pushes higher, then if I can catch it, maybe I'll trade it into V and get out in front of VWAP. We'll see. Let's see. 30 seconds to the bell. I'm pausing the bell. You guys may hear it. I'm not gonna hear it. I'm muting it out. I don't want that dopamine hit. I just want to be able to trade with a clear mind. 20 seconds. A PEPG starting to pull back. That's what I want to see. I want to see it kind of dip and rip. SPRC is already pulling back as well. So if that starts to rip, I'll run with that. Let's see what happens here. 5 seconds. Here we go. We've got some issues with interest fund today. Looking a little spooky.
OPEN.
Different rip on SPRC. Yep. I'm taking SPRC. I'm in at 584. And I'm out at 599. Sorry, y'all can't see that. That's on my other screen. Let's continue to run a little bit, so we're going to bring that one over. Now, the problem with that move like that is that they have a tendency to fail off of those type of moves. And we're not going to chase it just yet. I want to see what happens here.
SPRC. SGBX.
SGBX. WTTR. OKLL. KDK. SPRC.
Was trying to push higher, had trouble pushing higher. Now we're getting into this sort of failure mode here. And we know their stock does this move up and fails, right? So we're gonna be super cautious with that. We're not gonna play around with that. PEPG is now into VWAP, pushing $6. I don't like to trade into VWAP.
RGTX.
If it cracks over VWAP, is it 620 is VWAP, then maybe I'll take a stab at it. So I'm going to put this over here. That might be the next one I'm going for if it cracks over VWAP.
CPOP. SGBX.
Sorry, PEPG's over here.
OKLL.
SPRC's over here. SPRC is now failing. Right? Usually when you, that's why I said I'm cautious on these dips, on these pushes. I like to see it not push, but dip and then rip. Let's look for that dip and rip here. I just bought 564. I'm getting out right away. Right away.
OKLL. SFIX.
Because I do not trust it. Let's make sure we don't have anything open. No open trades here. Everything's closed out. Everything's closed out.
GROY.
BLDP.
SGBX. QURE.
So today's not a day to be playing.
FCEL.
Today is not a day to be playing.
RGTU. LAVX.
SPRC looks like it's the one now. Here we go. I'm going to lower my size because if it does get ripping, I want to be in because it is some space up here to 7 plus almost to $7. But I want to see it over 6 and show strength over 6 first. So now I'm looking at the box. I'm looking at the tape.
MERC. And UAR.
Not happy with what I'm seeing. RGTI, I've traded before. Let's look at RGTI. I'll pull it up on my third screen over here. RGTI is rocking. But it is out of my price range. It's a $30 stock, but it's rocking. Here we go. SPRC, we're looking for it. Let's see if it's gonna crack that 6 and hold over 6. I'm in. Ooh, I don't have any buying power left. I just blew it all. Yep, blew it all. That's alright, I'm gonna put some more money in this account. A couple days. But we did it in at 6, right? We're looking for that move over, and if it does not move over quickly, we're gonna get out. We get out here. That's a failed breakout. Right, we probably would have lost, I don't know, 5 to 10 cents per share on that one, depending on how fast we recognized it was time to get out. Alright, and I'm just going to pull over RGTI for you guys, so I want you to see what type of moves some of these stocks can make. Right, look at this. I used to trade RGTI when it was in here, $3. Look how far it ramped up, right? And it makes you want to hold it because you're like, man, all I need is one, but
RG2.
99% of these things are going to fuck you. Right? That's just the way it is.
CLPT. ONDS.
FG. Right, we're still below that level. And again, we pushed into VWAP. That's why I said I don't like to trade VWAP. We pushed into VWAP. Right? And they pushed into VWAP and rejected that VWAP, right?
SPRC.
Now, I'm not a fucking mind reader. I'm not, like, I can't see the future, but I've seen this happen, these patterns happen so many times that I'm just kind of playing the odds on them at this point. Then we got SPRC. That looks like it's going to, it's not breaking down. This may be one to watch, even though I do believe that based on prior history of the pop, drop, right? You can see that pop, then that potential move, and then like the second move it drops. But again, if you look at the history, you have this initial move, it comes down, then it kind of climbs higher than the initial move, right? So maybe that does that again. Or maybe it doesn't, and it gets stuffed and you get fucked, so I don't know. But the idea is to just keep all those options open to yourself, have a plan. CPOP is moving now. I don't remember what this one was moving on. This is the Bitcoin catalyst. Okay. This is Bitcoin. We got something for that. We took 1203 on this Bitcoin move. This is doing the pop and drop as well. Well, I'm going to give it a little space and see what happens. I'm in at 203. I'm out. I don't hold things for long. Fuck that. I'm in at 203. I lost a penny. But again, Bitcoin, quantum, AI, nuclear fusion, any of these next generation kind of technologies and stuff is what everybody's excited about right now. So when you see those type of catalyst news, it's worthwhile looking at it and keeping an eye on it. Maybe we should have watched this a little bit better. Then we didn't really set our levels, so we would look over to the right, to the left, set your levels. Do you see these volume spikes on these bigger days? These are the places to set your levels. Because this is where there was probably news that day. A ton of market participants were involved. Some made money, some got cooked, some are holding, looking to sell into another spike into those levels, bag holders, right? And then if you get a good enough news catalyst, it may fly up and through that level. That level's up around $10, right? And Bitcoin is always a good news catalyst, especially when companies are buying millions of dollars of Bitcoin as a store of value. You know, they buy $1 million now at $100,000, and Bitcoin go to $200,000. They didn't have to do much, but they just doubled their whole fucking, they doubled their investment on it. And that's what people are looking at and hoping happens. That's why when you see these Bitcoin, crypto, these companies that aren't crypto companies, but they will store wealth into it, they'll say, hey, we just bought 100 million shares of crypto, of Bitcoin or whatever. You'll see that stock lie sometime. And we're getting a little bit of momentum. You can hear it now. We got a little something going on in the scanners. Before this shit was quiet, remember? And this POET we looked at yesterday, I didn't like the float, but it seems to be moving still. So let's dig into that before I get off of here. I got shit I got to do today. Let's dig into that. Why is it moving, right? Okay, so just announced a public offering at $100 million public offering. 31 million shares at 320. Anytime I see an offering and the price goes up, I just don't understand why the price would go up. Typically, an offering is a dilution, and it's a money fundraising thing. So they devalue their stock by making more of the stock, like giving out more stock which devalues the stock when you do a public offering. So I don't know why this would be going up, right? So I'm not gonna fuck with that. Yeah, so if you're trading something and you see a public offering, the company's offering shares, it's a fundraising thing, and typically you're devaluing your one share of stock that you bought that's worth whatever is now worth less because they're offering more stock into the pool. Typically you'll see a stock crash, sometimes in a big super way. Like some stocks will just go up 100% on news. The company will recognize that, oh, now our stock is more valuable, and they'll offer more stock and to raise money at that higher level, and then you'll see the stock go from that big uptick that it had, it'll just kind of crash. It'll, and the guys who are holding it and doing old hodl will get fucking cooked. And that's what happened with AMC, and in some degree with GameStop. Not initially, but years later they offered. Same thing with AMC. They did all public offerings, devalued their stock, and your one stock is now worth 30% of what it was, right? And if you're a hodler AMC guy and you're holding 100,000 shares, like, oh, it's going to the moon, and they devalue the stock, and you had $100,000 worth of stock, now you only have $30,000 worth of stock. So watch out for public offerings. All right, I don't see anything else. SPRC looks like it's moving now. Let's just take a peek at that. Yeah, okay, so it separated and went into a halt. But again, this may be worth watching. This may be a lesson. Because again, our stock history says that we do the same type of, right? This is a higher time frame, lower time frame, sort of a mid time frame. And you're seeing the same type of thing, right? Maybe we go up and push outside of 717. Maybe we go to $9-10, right? Yeah, so we have resistance up there at $10. I don't see a lot of volume on that day, but in front of that, it should. At one point, this thing was up at $36. But what happens when it hits 36? In the same day, it crashed back down from 36. It crashed back down into the 20s and the teens. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does go and continues to go and go to the moon, right? But my guess is it'll hit these levels, hit this level, maybe hit this level, and then do the same thing it's been doing historically, which is have this check, boom, crash, right? So we have a halt up. Maybe it opens higher and goes to here. Or maybe it opens, pushes a little bit like this, and freaking crashes. So let's see when it's going to resumption time. 9:44 and 36. It's now 9:42. We'll wait for that. We'll wait for that. Because this gives me something to kind of teach on, Gives me reason to have content out there. Right. This is a good lesson. And these are all lessons I had to learn the hard way. We'll see what happens. Hold up. What we have when I hold ups from yesterday? They halted up and then they came back down. Now this one is a little different. This one may hold up, go higher because historically it has kind of went higher than this initial spike, right? Boom, goes higher than the initial spike and then comes back down. So if I was going to trade this, I would trade this with super small size in case it did decide to go here, but it would have to be super small size in case it decided they wanted to open up and go like this all the way back down here. All right, and then we had TNFA from yesterday that made that initial spike, right, that we caught a little piece of, right? We were trading it in here, and we caught a little piece of it, and it spiked up during the midday, right? And then now look where it's at, and look where it looks like it's continued ahead, right? No more volume. Coming down, you're gonna have short sellers sitting on this thing, wiggling their fucking fingers and shit, and rubbing their hands like Birdman, because, but maybe not here, but at the top when it started to break down and crack, they were rubbing their fingers and hands like Birdman, because they make money this way on the way down, and a large percentage of these stocks that fly up like this, you can trade them on the way down. That's why short sellers are so successful until you get something that goes like this, goes down, and then it goes wham, and before you know it, it's at $100 a share, and they just blew up their whole fucking account, and now they got a mortgage, they got to sell their home and all sorts of crazy shit because they owe the bank, you know, $2.5 million fucking dollars because they wanted to be stubborn and not sell and not respect their stops. So it's harder to be a long bias trader like me, but there's less risk. SPRC still moving.
SPRC.
So did we mix the resumption? Yeah, I was talking too much, wasn't I? Resumption time.
SPRC.
Okay. It did, so it did go higher. Alright, shit, I'm on the wrong one. So it did go higher. So let's see what happens now. Alright. Here it goes, it's pushing higher. Okay. Unfortunate for me, I'm out of buying power. But it's pushing higher. If you had any sense, you'd be selling into these levels and maybe just keeping a tiny little bit in case it did decide it wanted to teleport up into the 8, 9, 10. There it goes, 726 teleportation. It's moving higher. Okay. Now, historically, what do we know about this stock? It goes higher than its initial spike, and then it finds some time eventually to fucking crash. So if it goes to 8, 9, or if it goes to 10, high probability eventually this thing is going to kick somebody in the teeth on the way back down. But you love to see this type of momentum because that means that we're getting a little bit more heat into small cap. Now, let's just watch it. Shit. Let's watch it.
SPRC.
Now, is that the beginning of the crack? Maybe not. Maybe that's just a pullback. Maybe that's a pull. And then it ends. Maybe it goes wham and rushes back up. We don't know. Nobody knows. You just got to prepare for all eventualities. Let's watch it. It's a great case study right here. We got traders involved. Look at the volume on it. I'm not the only one who sees this shit. Look, 2 million shares plus a volume. Here we go. So you see the pin bar? There was a pin bar, then it pushed back up, but it couldn't get through that level. So let's see if it does sort of this thing right here, which is like a flag. Sort of a flag. Let's see if it does sort of this flag. Right? Bull flag. There, yeah, bull flag. See if it does a bull flag. Right? So the entry on the bull flag would be the break of the flag. Right? With a stop back at here if it doesn't go. There it goes. There goes the break. All right, 765. This thing might get halted up again. Let's see. So a halt is going to be 10% or better. So if it moves 70 cents from $7 in one candle, it'll halt. Well, we're getting close to that. In a couple candles, it'll halt. We're getting close to that. This is cool to watch, you know. And that's the one thing about a Trump presidency is that you're going to have more momentum in the stock market. It's just how it works. So you may love them or hate them, but if you're a day trader, you're indifferent. Other than some of the bullshit, the politics, which I don't want to get into, and then the political things. But love them or hate them as a day trader, he produces momentum and volatility in the market. So now we're going to be looking at a potential halt down, or maybe shit. Maybe it goes down again, longs reload, and then it goes up and goes to $10. All right? You're not here to predict. You're just here to say if then. If then. Well, what could happen? Well, this could happen. So if it does happen, if then, I'll do this. That's all this is.
KDK. CAPR.
If then. If this goes here, I'll hold, I'll add here, or I'll get out. If it does not do what I wanted, then I will get out. Now that then part is the most important part. If this doesn't do what I want, I have to be out by here. If you don't respect that, you can never be a trader. That's the hardest part for everyone, including me. Discipline. If it does not do what I think it's going to do, I need to be out by here. And it needs to be automatic. You can't think about it because you'll sit there stuck on stupid. And before you know it, you'll look up and you're down $1 a share. You just lost fucking 3-4 grand, depending on what type of money you're playing with. That lesson is a hard lesson to learn. So I recommend you learn that lesson in the simulator, or you learn that lesson with a small account.
OPN. CAPR. SLNH. CWBS.
So now this is showing weakness, but I would not count this out just yet. Now I've seen crazier shit happen. Something like this come back and just go crazy. Let's just watch it. Hold down. Now what I'll do is later I'll come back after I work out and shit. And before the bell closes, I'll screenshot how this eventually ended up. Right, so we have a full data set. But it's doing pretty much what we thought it may do based on the prior chart history, right? On the daily chart, we saw that so stocks don't repeat, but they often rhyme, right? So you may not see the same look, but it'll be a similar look. So if you look back and you see that the stock trades a certain way, you're like, okay, there's a rhyming rhythm to that, right? They rhyme. I forgot who says that. I stole that from somebody, but it's the truth. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. What time is it? Yeah, I got a couple more minutes. We'll give it to 10 o'clock. I got to do chess today. You know what I mean? And I gotta take my dog for a walk. So he can piss on every tree in the neighborhood and piss me off. Guy pisses on every single tree in the neighborhood. Like that's his whole freaking. That's what he does. That's his life. Like he wakes up to go piss on every tree in the neighborhood. I'm sorry. While I'm sitting here, let's find out when our resumption time is. 56 and 23. Right. Halted 51:23. 5 minutes later, 56 and 23. Right. And if we're looking here, we see this right here. Kodak looks like it halted down as well. So that tells me there's a trend of halt downs today. So that tells me be fucking careful. Look at that shit. I don't even know what that is. What the fuck just happened there? Stay away from that type of shit. That's a 30-second chart too, so maybe I'm just overreacting to it, but that don't look nice. And then FOFO apparently is halted. I don't know what that is. At $24.80, looks like it's an open higher. Let's pull it up for shits and gigs. Let's take a look at it. This one is 1 minute chart. Yeah, there's no volume on it. Anytime you see this choppy shit, there's no volume on it. This is probably market manipulation. Somebody with $100 million is probably moving this around. Hang Feng? What does that mean? What does that mean to you guys? Hang Feng? Chinese? Hong Kong company? Watch out. Nothing against the Chinese, but their stock get manipulated a lot. For whatever reasons, wink wink. SPRC, 56 and 23. Time, 54. We got 2 minutes. Let's see how it opens. So, it's dangerous. If you're in this thing could open lower, like teleport lower. It could literally open And down here at $4 or $5, I've seen crazy shit happen, man. Or it can open and go for a crazy run up into the tens. You never freaking know.
AIO.
2 minutes. The best thing you can probably do is if you see something halting, unless this has a great catalyst, either get super small. If it's holding down and you can get out in front of it, get out in front of it. If it's holding up, you need to size down. You need to be at, I don't know, 5% to 2%, 3% of what your useful size is. Like really, really, really small. And if it takes off, then you can add a little bit to it, you know, and average up a little into it a little bit. Maybe get lucky and maybe it'll go to $100. I've seen stocks for $300 from a couple bucks.
SLH.
SPRC.
All right, here we go. We got about a minute left. 56 and 23, and right now it's 55 and 23. 1 minute.
SPRC.
Trading holds is some of the most dangerous trading you can do. You have to be lucky. But again, I've seen stuff hold up to the hundreds of dollars, yo. To blow your fucking mind, and you just can't help but think, man, I could have put $100 in that and left out here with 10 grand today. You can't help but think that.
CIRW. And you.
All right, 56. 20 seconds. Now, this may be a 10-minute haul. We don't know that, but we'll see. 10 seconds.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
UCLS.
Sitting on VWAP. Or is it going to take off? It may bounce on this level and take off and end up at $10 today. Or it may go lower. So, you got to make a plan. If then. Now, I wouldn't trade this shit. It'd have to be incredibly strong for me to trade holds. I've traded them. But I want to see it skipping up 30, 40 cents up. And I'll trade them. I'm ballsy. I'll trade them. But only when it's right. And this ain't right. Look at that. Teleporting up. You also got to be careful because some of these companies will take this opportunity to do an offering.
SPRC.
They'll just chop you off at the knees. Literally will drop 90% in a minute or two. Blow your fucking mind. Let's see where this goes. So remember, if this thing drops 10% or more, you're going to get a halt down. So it's at 611. If it drops down to, I don't know, 540 or something in that range, you're going to have a halt down. Now this area that we're sitting on top of, right here, is a strong level of support. And it's been proven that it's a level of support. So maybe we stick the landing in here on top of it and go for an extended run. So this is going back to these defined areas. This is a defined area that they was trading at, right? There's a fight between the longs and shorts. Longs won. So this is an area to watch out for. Yeah, and it's been an area since the morning. Since pre-market it's opened up and this has been the area. So it doesn't surprise me that they're going to see we're going to see probably something really crazy happen around here eventually.
FO,
Okay, now.
I'm going to have to clip this part into three different parts on halting, define levels, halts, daily resistance levels, historical patterns on the daily. So this will probably be 3 parts in shorts.
Okay, now. Okay, now.
AIN,
So like volume profile. Okay, if we see this thing blow out and start to push 1 million plus shares again, we may see this thing take off again.
OPAU,
So when you're looking at stuff like this too, another thing that needs to be noted is that if you're not listening to the scanner and you don't have your eyes on other things, another stock could come in and steal this one's thunder, and if you're not paying attention, the traders will jump on that other stock, and before you know it, this thing, ooh, look at that move.
SPRC,
Before you know it, this thing could crash because something else is moving with more volatility, more momentum, but this seems to be the one today.
OPAU,
Right, so we couldn't break down through this area of significance, right? That we know is an area of significance. We know that because it pushed through. We had trouble, rejection. We finally get through it. We finally sit sort of on top of it, and then we take off. Now we come back in. We try to break this level again. It does not. So it's turned into resistance, into support, and then now we're taking a move off of this level.
OPAU,
So we know we have overhead room. So the first thing we want to do is get back up and through the prior high of the 765. And then we're looking to move into probably around this $8 level, $8.25 level. And then there's a potential for this to take off and move through $9, $10, $11, or even higher.
OKLL,
I can say it will, but you got to prepare for the eventuality if it does, right? So if it does do that, then how would I trade that? Where would I get on board? Where is it more beneficial for me to get on board? Well, probably off of this area here that it's balancing should prove that there's some strength left. Wouldn't be a bad idea to take some trades in here, looking to move up and through there, and then give yourself a stop, you know, below the prior bar or below VWAP. And VWAP is just the average price, right, of these moves and shit. The big move, the little move, the big move, and then just averages it out. And the blue line is I use as a 9-day exponential moving average, which is a self-explanatory moving average over the last 9 days. Okay, we got some movement going there.
SPRC,
INTW.
This is good momentum.
POTT.
Days like this, you dial in on a stock like this can make or break your month. You know, you can make your month, and if you got, you know, you
SPRC,
can make your year. You catch it as it, you know, as it's moving up. Just kind of teleporting.
PKTT.
Now let's see how it reacts to $7 if it pushes through and then goes for a wild ride.
PKTT.
Okay, LL.
SPRC.
BRN. INTW.
INTW.
BETR. Okay, LL.
I'm gonna step away for 2 seconds, enjoy the ride. Looks like it's gonna push into 7, take off out of 7.
BER.
If it did, I would look to get in. I would wait for it to break 7, show me that that it wants to be above 7, 710, 715, 720, bouncing around that area, and I would probably take a small scalp off of that, looking for a move of 30, 40 cents the way this thing's moving.
SPRC. KD.
Okay, LL. INTW.
Okay, LL.
LASE. Okay, LL. Okay, LL. INTW. BER. RGTS. Okay, LL. RGTI. NEBS. Okay, LL.
RGTI taking off too.
INTW.
Moving through the 30s now at like 32 bucks a share. You know, just 2 weeks ago, this thing was at $17 a share. RGTI is a quantum stock. So, that goes to show you, that might be the leader of this whole quantum takeoff thing. So maybe they came into some type of quantum breakthrough, potentially, that people believe in, the street believes in, and they're taking off because of it. And they're pulling up a lot of these other stocks with it as well. And then I'm watching Pharma Bro apparently is short one of these quantum names, and you know, he just has a lot of people who don't like him, so they may be trading against him just to fucking bankrupt his ass. I'm sure he's stressed out right now because he's one of those guys. He's stubborn. So if he got into one of these quantum names before these quantum stocks really started to pop off, he's probably underwater millions and millions of dollars. And I'm sure there's not a lot of people, a bunch of people aren't really sad about that. Oh, look at that. Look at me not paying attention. Look at SPRC. Holds it up again. Yeah, this thing may take off, man. Right?
SPRC. PLTS.
It's turned into quite a day. Just like yesterday, it was kind of slow, and then out of nowhere. So we're hold to that. What was it? I didn't hear what the scanner said. We're hold to that. 10:08:31. Resumption 10:13:31. So it's turned into quite a damn day. And to be totally honest with you, Small caps have been cooking a little bit ever since Trump got in office. The stock market, well, obviously, the stock market, you can see it yourself, that's been cooking. I mean, you know, like I said, say what you want about the man, but you can't deny his impact on the market.
AMPY, INTW, ZBRA,
AMPY, SPRC,
LASE,
And just to follow up on that same note, I made a good amount of money on his first presidency. I wasn't as good of a trader then, but I made some AMC dollars. And I made a good amount of money on that DWAC shit. That DWAC went up, I don't know, it was hundreds of percent. We had small size in it, but shit, you didn't have to have big size in DWAC as long as you held for, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That thing freaking went to the moon. I swear Reddit is not a real place. Some of the shit that I see on Reddit from day to day is wild. I don't even want to get into it, but wild. What's that resumption time again? 13:31. We got 3 minutes.
KOD,
While we're here, let's take a look at some of this other crap that's moving. KOD, it's Kodiak, moving on low volume, but is up quite a bit. What else we got? PLTS, let's take a look at PLTS.
CHNR, INTW,
Another one on lower volume, but has really moved, about $2 off the daily chart. Oh, this is a new stock, IPO'd recently, and looking to push through its IPO opening, which it has once already. Now it looks like it's going to go higher. So we got a blue sky set up here. IPOs, you can make a lot of money on them. I wouldn't hold any IPO. They have a tendency to spike and then trail off for years. Not to say that's the rule, but that's just what I've noticed. There are certain times when the IPO market is a little hotter than others where you won't get that, but a lot of times you have these bigger companies. Take, for example, Coinbase. Coinbase IPO was wild. You pull up Coinbase. And I think it's through those levels now, but it took forever for Coinbase to get back through those levels. Let's see Coinbase. What's it? 23? I got a couple seconds before that thing opens up. Let's put it on a weekly. See, we're just now getting back through Coinbase levels. Coinbase IPO'd in April 2021 and kind of just got its ass kicked, and we're just now, right? It tapped the highs, and we're still not below. You're still below the initial IPO cost, but we're just now sort of getting into the area where it makes sense that, you know, if you bought it from there. But you would have had 3 years of pain looking at Coinbase, especially when it was down to $55 as it opened at 400 plus, right? Who's going to hold that? Most people won't. They'll sell it and say, fuck this. Here we go. Boom. Teleporting higher, higher, higher. And now this can go into multiple halts, right? Let's see what it does. Now, 100 shares of this. I'm gonna actually go put some more money into the bank. It's gonna take a week for it to clear, but I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow because if it's hot like this, I need to be involved. I'm not gonna throw a bunch in there. I might put another $200-300 in there, and you know, look at that. I'm surprised I didn't hold it up. Wow. All right, let's see if it goes to our areas. I love to see it go to right around those daily levels that I mapped out. I love it when it does that. 838 was the prior, but should have been a little higher. I had it low. I like to do it a little bit lower because it doesn't go to the level. I get out in front of it. Right, so it should have been like there and here as an area.
SPRC.
So now we have a pin bar at the top, doji candle, which is a candle of bearish candle. Surprised that didn't hold down.
STV.
And then when you do stuff, when you see shit like this, sometimes it makes sense to just go find out what company it is, what sector it trades in, then go look for other stocks that are like similar companies and see if they're taking off too. We're not gonna do that today, but or even take a watch list and make a basket. Like right now, we should have. Oh, I have one already. A basket of quantum stocks that I already made. I'll show you that. You know, I'm not just capping. You know, people be lying and shit. I don't be doing no lying. If I can help it. Where's my quantum basket?
SPRC.
What is that? Personal. EV. Quantum compute. Here it goes, right here. I'll show y'all. Hold up. And then we'll pull up this watch list, and I guarantee there's going to be a bunch of stocks in that watch list that are moving. So watch this. Quantum compute. Ooh, that's interesting. Huh. That is interesting. Maybe they're up all the time, but not on the day. Get my goddamn information off of that page. Some of you niggas be hacking and shit. RGTI I have there, and it's taken off right now, but it says that it's down 2%. That don't seem right. Oh, maybe it is down 2%. It was at 34 and 40 cents before. Right? So this is the quantum. I'll go through them. That's a quantum stock. Another quantum stock. Quantum associated stock. Honeywell does a bunch of other things, but Defiance Quantum ETF. Right? Up on a year, pretty big. Look at this one. That's RGTI up pretty big. That's probably the leader right now. Alright. Yeah. Alright, this is what you call a basket of stocks. So you find a bunch of stocks. Look at this one, IonQ. This is the one that Martin Shkrelli, the Pharma Bro, was short on, and he's getting his fucking face torn off. Right? I had this. This is my one of my levels I was watching on quantum. I just can't invest in quantum because I don't know how far out it is, and it'd be foolish to invest, and then before you know it, you're getting smoked. But I wonder where Shkrelli's at. He might have shorted it from in this area here, right? This resistance area at 20 bucks. Maybe he shorted it up here at 50. Either way, he's underwater millions of dollars, man. Either way. And then they're not going to take their foot off his neck because of who he is. So once everybody knows he's short, they're going to fuck him. His best bet? Start piecing some of that shit out, buddy. Start piecing some of that shit out. Because guys like Shkrelli, these guys will get, and they'll just keep pushing this higher and higher just to fucking jack them up. Just a fun fact, I do every now and then watch Shkrelli's lives and his YouTubes because he does have knowledge to offer. Like, he's an asshole, but I mean, like, come on, let's be realistic here. You're not, but he's a smart guy, so you'd be a fucking fool not to look at what he's looking at and take it in consideration. Let's go back to what the hell we were doing. SPRC. Ooh. Look at that, whole pound, man. We missed that. Yeah, man. None of this shit is fun, man. You don't got it together, this is not fun.
LEU.
You know? That's a big drop. So let's just basically say it's $9 and it just dropped back down to $7.50. You wanna be a part of that? But we know that this has a potential to do that. You know? We know that there's potential to do it. It's written all over the damn thing. Written all over the damn thing. It's done it before. It's done it before. And now it's doing it again.
HTC.
But you never know. It can get up into these levels. There's gap fill. It can get into this band and blow this out. And be pushing 40, 50, 60 bucks. You just don't know. And it'll do it for no reason. Alright, I'm off of this. We'll leave this. I'm going to leave this open. I'll come back. I'll screenshot. And we'll see how this ends up. Alright, we'll see how this eventually ends up. Okay. Alright, remember, this is all about patience. And putting in the work and the seat time. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. I'm taking off Friday. I don't want to trade Fridays and Mondays anymore. My dad tells me that it's not conducive to me winning, right? I don't want to go into the weekend on a loss because I'll be fucking pissed. You know what I mean? You know how I am. A lot of y'all know how I am. Gotta piss me off. I don't like to lose. Alright. Holla at me. See y'all tomorrow morning.